The Invincible writers have got to hate my boy Mark Grayson. We already know that Marcus Grayson lives a god-awful life, and the only reason he's called invincible is not due to his physical body being invincible, but the fact that he can have this happen to him. And get back up. Because today we're going to be talking about Mark Grayson's low down, rotten, terrible life in the comics, and there's a very specific run I'm going to talk about. So this is a spoiler warning for the Invincible comics. I'm not trying to hear nobody mouth in the comments, so you can click off this video, but while you clicking off, go on ahead and leave that like, and if you're staying, leave that like and subscribe too. And the run in Mark's life that I'm talking about is not that specific scene you are talking about. If you've read the Invincible comics, you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole, twin, but it did happen damn near immediately after. Cause I'm telling you, man, Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ollie sit in a room and they're like, how are we gonna make Mark want to deep throat a shotgun this month? Oh, I know, here's how. A little bit of setup before I get to where I'm actually going to. Eve is pregnant. Then all of a sudden, Angstrom Levy pulls up on her, rips her leg off, and then Adam talk no jutsus that nigga out of there. Eve goes to the hospital, fixes her leg, they got a baby. And then all of a sudden, again, that boy Robot decides, you know what? I'm gonna just take over the earth. But it's not like a hostile takeover. It's more of a, he is actually genuinely helping, but no one has free choice. Like a Superman dictatorship, minus the Superman. So now Eve and Mark don't feel safe at all on Earth, so they decide, hey, let's hit up Alan, let's go to the coalition of planets home base and let's just live there. They also named their daughter Terra, their own little piece of Earth, while they're, you know, not on Earth anymore. But I love seeing Mark and Eve be parents, man. It's just crazy to see. We saw this nigga go from high school to having a whole ass kid. That's nuts. But while they're settling in, Alan gives Mark some work. He has a job to go do with Oliver. Yeah, that boy is grown as hell now too, because Thrag got done beating the brakes off a battle beast, pouring out for a real ass nigga. But I know y'all see that boy Thrag, he got that shit on. Battle Beast dead ass carcass, skinned and flayed, laid across his shoulders, and we know Thrag gotta keep the crispiest edge up at all times. He got the best barbers in the universe on speed dial, ready at any given moment. I mean, this the sauciest Freddie Mercury has ever looked. Now Oliver and Mark are on this planet searching for Thrag. Mark goes into this cave, and chat, there was nothing Mark could have done about this, because once he got into that cave, there's interference on the little earpiece he had, and he tried to fly back up, but nah, it felt like something was pulling his ass right back down. And once he fell down, he saw this blue little wisp, and guess what this thing did to Mark? It transported his ass back to issue 1 of Invincible. The nigga just had his daughter born and now he's back like 5 years in the past. And this the type of shit I be talking about, bro. Cause what do you mean I'm at the very first issue of Invincible again, twin? No powers, and he just knows of every single event that's gonna happen. So he goes to school, talks to Eve, has her take his ass to the team base as he tries to convince them boys, hey, I'm from the future. The only nigga there that agrees is Robot. So after convincing the team that he is from the future, he gets his powers for the first time again, flies out into the sky, and kindly asks if he can get the fuck out of here. No response from that blue wisp. So over the next couple of days, he's becoming invincible again and helping out the team with all of his prior knowledge from the future so they don't have as many casualties from before, saving everything he possibly can until we get one panel of this nigga in his room just breaking down. And I understand it, he just wants to go see his daughter. But the team pulls up on the Flaxons again. They not trying to have as many casualties as that first go around, but this time Omni-Man pulls up, and whole time Mark has been invincible throughout this timeline. He ain't told Nolan he got his powers yet. So that slowed everything down. We still got the Guardians of the Globe alive, and Nolan not moving like the Terminator, trying to get everybody up out of there. They go back home, tension's high, so Debbie's like, I ain't gonna lie, twin, I'm not finna deal with this. Y'all take this superhero mumbo jumbo out of here. And I'm crying, man, why did they have to suit up just to go back outside and fly in the air? Y'all didn't need y'all costumes for this talk, I promise you. Mark starts asking Omni-Man if he loves him, and Omni-Man's like, man, what? Of course I love you. Mark's like, all right, dad, so don't try to take over the planet. Little dude balled his fist like Arthur. You need to chillax, gang. And look at the facial switch up on that nigga Omni-Man. Soft, gentle, parenting ass dad face. And then Mark asked him that question, he was ready to crash on any and everything. Mark tells Nolan verbatim, first, now that you know I have powers and that our people can create offspring that have our powers with the people of this planet, you start making plans to take over. So Omni-Man cracked his son upside the face one good time. Like, you catch niggas in a lie and they start wanting to box you. Like, I know what you are, buddy. Then Mark starts telling more of the future. He tells Omni-Man about his whole entire plan that he's about to make. And then that nigga calls it a hypothetical. Like, buddy, I know what you're planning. I've played these games before. So he backhands Mark away and they start tussling, but Mark's like, wait a minute. As they start careening down towards a city, and Mark's like, wait a minute. I gotta take this fight somewhere else so this doesn't happen again. Marcus Grayson strategically leads Omni-Man towards the Guardians of the Globe base, where Omni-Man caught Mark and he said the quiet part out loud. Every single member of the Guardians heard that and was like, nigga, you was trying to backdoor us this whole time, twin? And the Guardians get on that ass, and this part is frying me, man. He went after the Immortal first and bodied little bro. I mean, punched a hole right through that boy's stomach. This nigga will always be a bum in any timeline, any universe, bro. Forever a fraud. But Mark is there just running support for the Guardians, just making sure Omni-Man don't kill any of them boys, getting his ass beat, trying to talk down his pops. Until the Green Ghost phases through Omni-Man, probably messing up his nervous system, so War Woman hits him upside the head with that mace and knocked his little stupid ass out. Cecil pulled up with the Reaniman, locked and betrayed that boy Omni-Man in the hyperbolic time chamber for 1,000 years, until Omni-Man realized, damn, I was tweaking. My fault, y'all. Mark goes back to helping out Team. He starts beating up more bad guys until one day he saves Eve. Rexplode pulls up like, calm down, Invincible. That's my girl. And that nigga goes back home and cries. And I can't even be mad at it, bro. I would too. That shit sucks. But now the Blue Wisp pulls back up to Mark like, hey, what's up, big head? I wouldn't be a nice person if I didn't give you the option to want to go back to your original timeline. But we picked you up for this specific reason. We've seen all the good that you can do. So we'll give you the option to go back, but we don't think you will. Mark chooses to go back, and that Wisp was like, nigga, what? You gonna stay here, man? Forget that little ass kid. Mark's like, look, I don't even doubt that me and Eve will get together again and maybe even potentially have another kid, but it won't be my daughter. Also, in this timeline, Oliver's just never going to be a thing. So after the Wisp finds out it got the wrong nigga in Invincible, it sends Mark back to his timeline. Now that Mark is back in his own timeline, he flies as fast as he can go back to his cribbo so he can see the love of his life and his baby girl. He sees Eve chilling on the patio, hugs her, and even Schmeckledorf perplexed. Then he asks where Tara is, and Eve tried to warn that nigga, but Tara came outside and oh nah. She is grown as hell, little dude up walking and talking, man. Fuck! It's been 5 goddamn years. I want y'all to understand, he missed his daughter's first everything. First walks, first talks, nigga, first day at school, and it wasn't even his fault. There is no one to blame but that Blue Wisp. Like, a genuine accident on his part turned into 5 years of his life wasted with his daughter. That's why Marcus Grayson is a better man than me, because I would have turned around, saw my daughter 5 years old now, I would have been like, deuces. I'm gonna go see what Rexplode is doing. I'll see y'all boys later. So now Mark, Eve, and Tara are trying to be a family for really the first time, because Mark got snatched away for 5 years when that nigga Tara was like 2 months old. And Eve gotta get used to being back with Mark, because in that 5-year absence, there was somebody else. And now look, I don't need none of you niggas in the comments chatting Eve about this. I know how some of you erase dudes be acting, because let's not act like 5 years is not a long time. That is the longest Mark has ever been gone. Multiplied by like 100, he's been gone for like a couple weeks, maybe even a month at a time. This nigga was gone for 5 years. Alan over here asking Mark if he wants to do some more jobs because they still ain't found Thrag. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. If I was Mark, I would have slapped the piss out of that orange ass dude. What do you mean do I want to do more jobs? I was gone for 5 years of my life. I'm not working ever again. But shortly after that, Alan got backdoored, blown to smithereens, and Oliver was an informant for Thrag. Because while Mark, Tara, and Eve is chilling on their own little home out in the countryside by they dolo, and Thrag's little ass jits pull up on Eve and Mark. Them boys saw a real household with a mama, dad, and a child and got mad as hell. Wanted to tear that whole thing up. Mark takes Tara and dips, and Mark is in a crazy predicament. He can't fly too fast or else Tara can't breathe, but he can't fly slow or else that dude gonna catch up on him. And hold on a second, bro. I know this is Thrag's son because he got the crispy hairline genetics from him. Little purple baby Thrag with a fade done made Mark drop Tara, and she almost plummeted to her demise, but her powers kicked in just in the nick of time, just so Freddie Mercury himself can pull up and grab Tara by the leg. We all think it's over for this little ass girl, But then Big Oliver pulls up. Nigga was a double informant the whole time. He told his niece to run, but Tara had other plans. She got a kick off on Thrag's shoulder, actually made that nigga nudge a little bit, but done completely destroyed her whole entire leg. But Thrag booms that Baba Booey right in the gut. And what's up with Viltrumites and doing this move in particular? This the second time we've seen somebody do this all video. But pour one out for a real ass Baba Booey Oliver though. Thrag's grown ass over here threatening Tara now that Oliver's out the way, but Mark has his son by the bootstrap saying, hey, let my daughter go, I'ma let your son go. And Thrag, thinking Mark was pussy or something, was like, you're a hero. You're not about that life. You're not gonna blow your gun. Mark blew his gun. I mean, Swole's little bro's neck like a goddamn gusher. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't ever play on my boy Marcus top. But he did indeed rip Eve and Mark in half and dipped because he thought they were dead. They thought they were cooked too, but Eve regenerated them both back from the depths of death. And this was just a glimpse into the comics of Mark's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad life. But that's really the end of the talks for today. I want to do more comic book videos for y'all, man. I got some absolute Batman on the way. I'm going to do a video on the other half of the Transformers Skybound comics as soon as the latest issue comes out. Y'all can just give me some comic recs and I'll read those and do videos over them. Moral of the story is to never give up, I guess, bro. But seeing Mark's life, I don't think you want to hear that from me. But with that being said, if you liked, like, comment, subscribe, do the good stuff. I'm gonna leave all my socials down in the comments below, and I'm out of here. Bye.